Welcome to the Texas Department of Transportation Houston District's virtual public hearing for the State Highway 99 road widening project from Farm to Market 1093 to Interstate Highway 10 in Fort Bend and Harris Counties, Texas. This is a pre-recorded presentation. My name is Megan Lucian and I am part of the consultant team working on this project on behalf of the Texas Department of Transportation. I would like to welcome you and thank you for participating in this virtual public hearing. This hearing presentation is available for online viewing starting on August 31st, 2021, and will be shown at the in-person public hearing on September 2nd, 2021, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the TxDOT Houston District Headquarters, located at 7600 Washington Avenue, Houston, Texas. The comment process for the virtual public hearing will be described near the end of this presentation. The hearing materials, project information, and details on the in-person option can also be found at www.TxDOT.gov by searching SH99 from FM 1093. During the video, you may pause the presentation and navigate forward or backward using your video player. This virtual public hearing is being held to update the public on the status of the project and gather further public input. In this presentation, I will describe the proposed project and explain the purpose of the virtual public hearing, provide a project overview, explain the right-of-way process, provide an environmental overview, summarize the proposed project's next steps, and outline the methods for submitting comments. You are encouraged to submit comments on the proposed project after reviewing the hearing materials and listening to this presentation. If you experience technical difficulties with the public hearing, please call Raina Gonzalez at 713-802-5269. You may also request special accommodation assistance accessing public hearing information and materials and language interpretation needs other than English and Spanish. Please note that discussions with the project staff will not be included in the official record of the public hearing. If members of the public wish to submit a comment to be part of the official record of the public hearing, they may do so in the ways outlined at the end of this presentation. The SH99 project is receiving federal funds, and because of the federal component, TxDOT is required to assess the potential environmental effects of the proposed project in accordance with federal standards. The process that is followed is called the National Environmental Policy Act process, otherwise known as NEPA. The NEPA process provides analysis of the potential impacts to the natural and man-made environment, and helps the decision maker to make an informed decision on whether or not to proceed with the proposed project. On December 9, 2019, TxDOT received a signed Memorandum of Understanding from the Federal Highway Administration that permits TxDOT to assume responsibility from the Federal Highway Administration for reviewing and approving certain assigned NEPA projects. This review and approval process applies to this project. The hearing notice was published in the Houston Chronicle and Lavos to Houston on Saturday, August 14th, and Wednesday, August 25th, respectively. It was also published in the Katy Times on Thursday, August 19th, in the Buena Suerte on Thursday, August 12th, and in El Perico News on Sunday, August 15th. Letters were emailed to elected officials on Tuesday, August 10th, and notices were mailed to adjacent property owners on Wednesday, August 11th. Homeowners associations, municipal utility districts, and other interested parties were emailed on Tuesday, August 17th. The proposed project is located along SH99 from FM 1093 to I-10 in Fort Bend and Harris counties, a distance of approximately 5.9 miles. The proposed project is needed due to current and projected growth in the area, causing traffic demand to increase. In addition, the existing facility does not have adequate capacity to accommodate current mobility needs. The purpose of the project is to improve mobility within the project area. This slide shows the existing typical section in areas without frontage roads, from north of FM 1093 to north of Highland Knolls Boulevard. The existing facility consists of 4 travel lanes, 2 in each direction, and a grassy median, within an existing right-of-way width of 300 to 400 feet. This slide shows the existing typical section in areas with frontage roads, from north of Highland Knolls Boulevard to south of I-10. The existing facility consists of 4 travel lanes, 2 in each direction, with a grassy median and 2-lane frontage roads in both north and southbound directions, within an existing right-of-way width of 300 to 400 feet. This slide shows the proposed typical section in areas without existing frontage roads, from north of FM 1093 to north of Highland Knolls Boulevard. The proposed facility would consist of 6 travel lanes, 3 in each direction, widening the shoulders from 6 to 12 feet wide, and a 28-foot wide median. The new travel lanes would be constructed in the median area. This slide shows the proposed typical section in areas with existing frontage roads, from north of Highland Knolls Boulevard to south of I-10. The proposed facility would consist of 6 travel lanes, 3 in each direction, widening the shoulders from 6 to 12 feet wide, and adding a cable median barrier. The new travel lanes would be constructed in the median area. The existing frontage road configuration would remain the same. In addition to the improvements described on the previous 2 slides, the proposed project would include modifying ramps in several locations and adding right turn lanes at major intersections. These changes are shown in detail on the project schematic. Here is a screenshot of the legend and a schematic that you can find on the Herring webpage. The legend is included on each page of the schematic so you can reference it as you review them. The screenshot shows the colors that fill the proposed design. These colors identify the limits and major aspects of the project. Let's walk through them. The proposed roadway main lanes are shown in yellow. Proposed bridge structures are in red. Proposed work on existing frontage roads in blue. And proposed right-of-way is shown with a thick black dashed line. A black arrow indicates the traffic flow direction. This slide also includes a detailed look at a portion of the schematic, or design drawing, of the project. This slide shows SH99 over Cinco Ranch Boulevard. Note that in the project area, Fort Bend County is proposing to construct frontage roads in areas where there are none today. The proposed frontage roads would extend between Cinco Ranch Boulevard and Westheimer Parkway, and between Fry Road and FM 1093, along the southbound side of Grand Parkway. The Fort Bend County Toll Road Authority is also proposing a project that would provide direct connectors from westbound FM 1093 to northbound SH99, and from eastbound FM 1093 to northbound SH99. These are separate projects proposed by other agencies, outside of TxDOT, and are not addressed in this virtual public hearing. Subject to final design considerations, the proposed project would require approximately 0.96 acre of additional right-of-way and would not include any displacements. This proposed additional right-of-way would be required for corner clips at 7 major intersections to accommodate right turn lanes. TxDOT offers relocation counseling and financial assistance to residences and businesses that are displaced by the acquisition of highway right-of-way in accordance with the Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisition Policies Act of 1970. The proposed project is listed in HGAC's Financially Constrained 2045 Regional Transportation Plan and in HGAC's 2021 through 2024 Transportation Improvement Program. The estimated construction cost for the proposed project is approximately $85 million and is programmed with state and federal funds. This project is fully funded for construction, and construction activities are anticipated to begin in late 2022. The project would take approximately 2 years to construct. This project was determined to meet the conditions of a categorical exclusion. A categorical exclusion is a class of action that normally does not individually or cumulatively have significant environmental impacts. A purpose and need statement was developed for this project, and various environmental resources were studied. This slide shows which environmental resources were analyzed. A waters resource analysis, including a wetland delineation, was completed and found that the proposed project was a result in permanent impacts to less than 0.01 acre of wetlands. A nationwide permit 14 with pre-construction notification to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is currently under preparation. The permit would be acquired before the project goes to construction at the area where the permit is needed. A traffic noise analysis was conducted for the project and determined that the proposed project would result in traffic noise impacts. The analysis identified noise barriers to be reasonable and feasible in 12 areas throughout the length of the project. A more detailed description of the noise technical report and next steps will be presented in the next slides. A preliminary hazardous materials assessment concluded that 8 areas of potential hazardous materials concerns were identified, and that further research would be needed to determine any issues in areas of right-of-way acquisition or within the project area. If necessary, any hazardous materials encountered during construction would be handled according to state and federal regulations. It was determined that there would be no adverse impacts to air quality, archaeological and historical resources, community cohesion and environmental justice, parklands, or biological resources. Coordination with the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department was completed in July 2020. Environmental technical reports are available online at www.TxDOT.gov, keyword search SH99 from FM 1093, as well as in hard copy at the in-person component of the public hearing. All public hearing information, including environmental technical reports, will be available at the TxDOT Fort Bend Area Office located at 4235 SH36, Rosenberg, Texas, and at the TxDOT West Harris Office located at 14838 Northwest Freeway, Houston, Texas, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. A traffic noise analysis was conducted as part of the environmental studies for this project in accordance with TxDOT's noise policy. When noise impacts are identified, noise abatement measures are reviewed to determine if impacted noise receivers would benefit from the construction of a noise barrier. The initial noise analysis only identified 4 noise barriers that met federal noise reduction and cost requirements, which are needed to propose them for the project. These 4 proposed barriers are located on TxDOT right-of-way and are adjacent to residential areas that are relatively close to the SH99 travel lanes. You can see these 4 proposed noise barriers on the upcoming slides shown in green. Because of the public's concern expressed at the October 2017 public meeting, TxDOT decided to perform a second noise analysis to see if noise barriers, placed in areas off of TxDOT right-of-way, in other words, on property located adjacent to residential areas further from SH99 travel lanes, would meet federal requirements and could therefore be potentially proposed for the project. The second analysis resulted in proposing 8 additional noise barriers. However, these would be located on property that is off TxDOT right-of-way. You will see these identified on the upcoming slides in orange. Per state regulations, TxDOT is not permitted to construct noise barriers outside of its own right-of-way unless the department has an agreement with another governmental entity that is willing to take ownership of the noise barrier. TxDOT has been coordinating with 8 municipal utility districts, or MUDs, in pursuit of partnering to build these particular noise barriers. Coordination with the MUDs is ongoing. Noise workshops with adjacent and benefited receivers for the 4 proposed noise barriers inside TxDOT right-of-way would be scheduled to determine if the barriers are desired. Noise workshops with the associated adjacent and benefited receivers for the 8 proposed noise barriers outside of TxDOT right-of-way would be scheduled if an agreement can be reached with associated MUDs. This is an example of what a noise barrier would look like from the street if it was constructed. The residents have an option of 2 different styles on their side of the barrier. Of the 12 proposed barriers shown on the following slides, barriers 1 through 6 and 9 and 10, highlighted in orange, are currently proposed outside of TxDOT right-of-way. The remainder, highlighted in green, would be constructed within TxDOT right-of-way. Proposed noise barriers outside of TxDOT right-of-way are shown on this and the following several slides with a thick orange line. Proposed noise barriers inside of TxDOT right-of-way are shown on later slides in green. Starting at the southern end of the project and on the west side of Grand Parkway, Figure 1 shows Barrier 1 from the south end of Dewflower Drive to the HEB Plus at the Hickory Creek neighborhood. Figure 1 also shows the southern portion of Barrier 2, starting at South Fry Road at the Grand Lakes neighborhood on the east side of Grand Parkway Barrier 2 is shown at the lower right side of the slide and extends onto Figure 2. Both of these proposed noise barriers would be outside of TxDOT right-of-way. Figure 2 shows the remainder of proposed Barrier 2 and proposed Barrier 3. Barrier 2 ends at the Buffalo Bayou at the Grand Lakes neighborhood. On the west side of Grand Parkway, Barrier 3 extends from the Home Depot near Fry Road to Buffalo Bayou, with a break for the Little Prong tributary at the Grand Lakes neighborhood Phase 4. On the east side of Grand Parkway, the figure shows Barrier 4 extending from Buffalo Bayou to south of Westheimer Parkway near Regions Bank at the Cinco Ranch, Cinco Forest neighborhood. Proposed Barrier 5, also on the west side of Grand Parkway, extends from Buffalo Bayou to National Tire and Battery, south of Westheimer Parkway, at the Cinco Ranch West neighborhood. All of the proposed noise barriers on this slide would be outside of TxDOT right-of-way. Figure 3 shows proposed barriers 6, 7, 8, and 10. On the east side of Grand Parkway, Barrier 6 extends from north of Westheimer Parkway at the drainage ditch to Lifetime Fitness near Cinco Ranch Boulevard at the Cinco Ranch Greenway Village neighborhood. Barriers 7 and 8, shown in green, are on the west side of Grand Parkway. Barrier 7 is at the lakes at Cinco Ranch Apartments, and Barrier 8 is at the Grand at La Centera Apartments. This figure also shows the southern portion of Barrier 10, starting at Prosperity Bank, near Cinco Ranch Boulevard, on the east side of Grand Parkway, at the Cinco Ranch Greenway Village neighborhood. On this slide, proposed barriers 6 and 10 would be outside of TxDOT right-of-way, and proposed barriers 7 and 8 would be inside of TxDOT right-of-way. Figure 4 shows proposed barriers 9, 10, and 11. Barrier 9 extends from Willow Fork Park to Bay Hill Boulevard at the Falcon Landing neighborhood on the west side of Grand Parkway. A portion of Barrier 10 is shown on this slide, extending to Highland Knolls Drive, with a break for a drainage ditch at the Cinco Ranch Greenway Village neighborhood on the east side of Grand Parkway. This figure also shows Barrier 11, starting at the drainage ditch at the approximate location of Katy Fort Bend Road, extending south of Lupe Tortilla at the Heritage Square neighborhood on the east side of Grand Parkway. Barriers 9 and 10 are proposed outside of TxDOT right-of-way, and Barrier 11 would be inside of TxDOT right-of-way. The northern portion of Barrier 11 is also shown on Figure 5, ending south of Lupe Tortilla at the Heritage Square neighborhood on the east side of Grand Parkway. Figure 5 also shows Barrier 12 at the Elon 99 West Apartments on the west side of Grand Parkway. Proposed barriers 11 and 12 would be inside of TxDOT right-of-way. The hearing webpage contains all materials presented in this public hearing, including this presentation, exhibit boards, a comment card, a project handout, schematic layouts, and environmental tech reports. The schematic layouts provide a more in-depth look at such details as intersection improvements and additional right-of-way. The schematic files are large and may require more time to download than the other project materials. In the next steps of the environmental process, all comments received during the comment period will be reviewed, and responses to comments will be provided in the official public hearing record. Right-of-way acquisition and final design would take place after environmental clearance. Construction is anticipated to begin in late 2022 and take approximately 2 years. Comments can be provided by phone. Call the project comment phone line 281-346-3197 to leave a verbal testimony. Comment card. Download the comment card from the hearing webpage, www.txdot.gov, keyword search, SH99 from FM to 93. In person. Fill out a comment card at the in-person public hearing and drop it in the comment box. Email the comment form to hou-piwebmail@txdot.gov. Mail your comment to the TxDOT Houston District Office, attention, Director of Project Development, P.O. Box 1386, Houston, Texas 77251-1386. Comments must be received or postmarked by Friday, September 17th, 2021, to be included in the public hearing summary report. Responses to verbal and written comments received during the comment period will be included in the public hearing summary report that will be posted on the hearing webpage when completed later this fall. Lastly, don't hesitate to contact us with any questions. Please feel free to contact Reina Gonzalez, TxDOT Project Manager, at 713-802-5269, or Tyrone Miller, Right-of-Way Project Manager, at tyrone.miller@txdot.gov with any questions or comments. And don't forget to click on these links and follow us on Twitter for ongoing road closures and construction updates on the Houston District Twitter page. You can also keep up with TxDOT news on our Facebook page. Questions and comments can be submitted at any time during the project development process, but comments will only be included as part of the official public hearing summary report if received during the comment period. Thank you for participating in this virtual public hearing. Please do not forget to submit comments by Friday, September 17th, 2021. This concludes our hearing presentation.